This video is going to review how to repair the hinge on the Maytag top loading washer model number MVWB865GW0, the left hinge that has a known defect that causes it to break. The machine looks like this. I'm fairly confident that a similar fix would work on other machines that have like problems, but I haven't done it on anything but this machine. The problem is going to be on this left hinge that is right here, and I'll show you how it broke on our machine and how we went about fixing it. Here's the lid on our washing machine, and as you can see, it's a plastic underside to the lid. This part over here is glass, but this is plastic, and it's cracked along this lower left-hand surface, and it causes the hinge element here, which kind of comes out of the lid and then into the metal part of the body of the washer, causes it to fail, and so the lid kind of flops around and doesn't stay closed very well and so forth. This is just a view of the right side hinge. On the surface, it doesn't look any different from the left side. The problem is the left side hinge apparently has a spring that the lid meets resistance as it opens and closes from that spring, and it wears out the plastic here on the other side. The hinges are not that difficult to remove. It requires a T15 6-pointed star bit, which you can buy those anywhere, and if you wanted to, you could replace the lid, but it's pretty expensive. These are brand new lids. You might be able to find a damaged or used one. This one is $83. For some reason, well, this is pre-owned, and you can see it's about $195, so they're expensive. This is what motivated me to want to fix our machine lid, is I didn't want to spend this much for a replacement. This is the price of the lid and glass assembly at Sears, and you can see it's around $300. This is said to be a bestseller, and I can believe it because what I've read is that these lids, the hinges that we're going to fix today, they break about every 2 years, which if you don't fix it, this whole lid is useless and you're going to have to replace it. So hopefully this is something anybody can do and save you some money. These are the materials that I use to fix our lid. I use JB Weld, the plastic weld. This had a 5-minute set time. If you'd like a little longer set time, I think they make a 15-minute set time version. These are just L-shaped corner braces. I believe they're about 4 inches. I bought a package of 2 at Home Depot for I think it was about $5.97, maybe $6 something, a little over $6, but I only used one. Popsicle stick. You need a T15 star driver or bit to remove the screws from the hinges, and then a couple of spring clamps, small spring clamps. You want them to open about 3 inches, something like that, so they don't have to be very big. Here's what it looks like after it's broken. So you can see that this is just cracked off all the way across here and snaps off like this. And here's the piece. And you can see the remains of a little bit of JB Weld there. That was me trying to do this on my first repair. I just tried to put it back together and glue it to see if it would hold. It doesn't hold. So I had to remove the lid again and take some other steps to try to make a more durable fix. In a minute, we'll look at the hinge part, I just want to say that for the fix that we're doing, one of the things we're going to do is on this piece, we're going to snap off these three little projections here. We're not going to need them. They're going to get in the way if we leave them there. So that might be something you want to do early. Of course, this is what it's supposed to look like when it's all put together, but if you just glue it together like this, I don't think it's going to stay. So we'll move on. This is the metal hinge assembly, and it's really two parts with two screws. This is a bracket here that sits in the plastic lid. This pin is really oriented in the wrong direction, so it is going to, I'm going to erase this so I can kind of show you how this lines up. So this pin right here is going to sit this way, and this part is the part that sticks out of the lid and fits into the hole on the washing machine body. And so it's important to get that put together the right way. And then, of course, these two screws just go through the holes here. So, you know, they're going to come through here and attach this pin to the bracket. When it's put together, it's going to look like this in the lid. And the only thing that I don't have showing here is the two screws that go through the bracket and attach the actual hinge here. I've got an arrow pointing to these three tabs. We're going to want to remove those. They just break off with pliers. And I'll show you the reason we want to do that in a minute or two. One of the problems with this assembly here is that we've got to secure and stabilize this bracket and you know, rod here to the inside of the lid. The way it's normally done, if you can look up here at this part, you can see that there are some holes right here, and there's another one over here. Okay, and they're supposed to, like, if you look down here, here's the hole again. So in other words, what I'm trying to point out is this part of the lid is supposed to be the guide and help secure the screws and secure everything to the plastic structure here inside the lid and stabilize it and secure it. But as you can see right here, it just breaks off, and so it's not very good design. But we're going to try to work around that. But we have to stabilize that. Okay, now I sort of have the bracket and the hinge inserted into the lid. The only thing is I don't have the screws going through here and here. If you can take a look at this, I'm going to tell you what the problem is with the fix that we have in mind. So if you notice, this square structure here on the lid is really an attachment point, and it fits in to this channel here along the bracket, and it's all made as one piece. And as you can see, there's a hole for the screw to go through. Here's another one, and both of them have been damaged. This one has been cut and sheared completely off. This one has damage down here on this aspect. If we replace this and slide the screws in, they're not going to do anything to keep this part of the lid secure. It's just not going to happen. So what we're going to do, and I want you to notice that here there's kind of an open area, okay? And as we put this lid piece down, these 3 plastic tabs are supposed to sit here next to this bracket and keep it secure. But of course, if the screws aren't keeping it secure, then these tabs aren't going to keep it secure. So we're going to come up with a way to fill this empty space here. We're going to remove these 3 tabs. Okay, like I said, we're just going to break them off with the little needle nose pliers or regular pliers. And then we're going to build up this empty area so that the left-hand side of the bracket has something to rest on. That's where we're going with this next. Here's the layout of the repair. As you can see over on this side, I've just cut a length of popsicle stick that fills that area, and this white material here is a piece of PVC plastic. It was a part of a PVC pipe. I heated it up and pounded it out flat. You can use 2 popsicle sticks or 3 popsicle sticks, however many you need. You just want that bracket to slide in. It's going to slide underneath this piece of plastic here, and you want it to sit level with the left side resting on this platform that you've built out of popsicle sticks. So that's what you're going for. I would take the thickness that I need, and I would glue together my popsicle sticks or whatever, and just lay them in this channel and epoxy them down to the base of the plastic there. Over here, you have an open channel, and it's fairly large, and it's the shape of a rectangle. And so all I've done here is I've cut a piece of wood. This happens to be cherry wood, but it could probably be almost any kind of wood as long as it's reasonably hard. So I'm going to fill that channel with this piece of wood, and I'm going to epoxy the side that's resting on this part of the lid, and it's going to be glued in there, and it's going to be very secure. I'm going to do this for 2 reasons. One is that it gives me a large surface area to epoxy the broken plastic to. If you don't secure that to something, it's going to be very weak, and it's going to hang over this ledge. It's not going to attach to this one, and it's going to be bendable. Okay, so if we put this base of wood here, like I'm showing, then we can just put a big area of epoxy on this wood and secure that plastic to that wood. The other thing too is you can see I've already started. I laid down my corner brace, and I started marking the holes I was going to drill. I've already drilled one here. There's going to be one up here, and there are 2 on this plastic piece. I believe one probably about here, and then another one maybe about here. And so this gives me a nice secure piece of wood to drill into, at least on this point. It makes it a lot more secure. I didn't take any measurements of the left side popsicle stick thing that's going to stabilize the bracket, but this is the piece of wood. It's 4.9 centimeters long, it's 4.2 centimeters wide, and it's 1 centimeter thick. Okay, and when you get something cut to those dimensions, you can just slide it in this channel. It's gonna, there's an open space here, so the corner is just a square piece of wood, or rectangular rather, and it's going to fit in there. And you want to epoxy that down from the bottom. Okay. Now you can also see here that when I had it all dry fit, I put it together and laid the bracket, the corner brace on the lid to make sure it fit, and I just copied where I wanted, or just marked where I wanted to drill my holes. I've done the same thing on the piece that fits over this area here. You just can't see it, and I've actually already drilled one of the holes here. So I'm going to be drilling 4 holes to make to accommodate the screws for the corner brace. But this material here and here, you want to epoxy it down very, very well. Once you apply epoxy to the broken part of the hinge and lay it down and position it and so forth, you're going to want to screw in your corner brace. So like I said, I pre-drilled holes in there so I could accommodate these 4 screws. If you can see, I've also epoxied the screws in place. I just don't want this, if I can avoid this thing coming apart or screws backing out, I want to do that. Also, I've got my hinge and bracket is placed in here. You can't see it, it's under here. Actually, the bracket is going to be inserted into this part of the lid, so it's going to slide up under there, and a good bit of epoxy on the bottom side of the bracket and along the top where the bracket fits into this channel here. We'll do a good bit of work to secure it in there. So once I did that and had it all more or less in place, I screwed down the corner brace and then applied the spring clamps. Here's just another view of it. I waited probably 4 or 5 hours to actually go and replace it on the washing machine. And here's the lid replaced on the washing machine. So I've got the date of the repair here. It's 8/11/24. We'll see how long it lasts. In order to be competitive with the cost of a new lid, it only really needs to last a couple of years. But of course, I'm hoping it'll last indefinitely. I hope that I've properly reinforced this so that it can accommodate the strain caused by this spring-loaded hinge here. So anyway, that's the fix, and I hope this helps other people. I got to give a shout out to my wife Donna, who talked through this solution with me and gave me a lot of good ideas on how to proceed. So way to go, honey, and hope this helps somebody out there.